Okay, I'm going to go ahead and show you how to do test bed exercise number 4, which is using the light sensor. The light sensor is the red box with the little black window on top of it, and it detects how much light is getting into it. And so what you can cover it up with your finger and use whether it's covered up or not covered up to trigger certain actions on your robot. It's also able to be used to follow a piece of black tape on the ground, but we won't get into that right now. All right, so the first thing we're going to do is look here at the assignment. So here's the assignment that we're trying to accomplish. So we want to wait until our hand covers the light sensor, and then it's going to start the right motor at speed 85 for 3 seconds, and then a motor stop. Then it's going to wait again for the hand to cover the light sensor and start the left motor this time at full speed for 3 seconds, and then a motor stop. So that is our assignment here. So we're going to cover the sensor with our hand, and then it's going to run for 3 seconds, and then we need a motor stop, and then we're going to cover the sensor again with our hand. It's going to run for 3 seconds. The left motor is going to run for 3 seconds, and then we'll need a motor stop. So that is our assignment. Okay, so in Robot C, I've already shown you several times how to start a new file and how to put in the motors. Got to get rid of that because I'm going to show you how to put that part in there. So ignore that line that was there just now. And yours should look like this. So I've already shown you how to start a new file and how to put in your motors, so I'm not going to cover that again. But I will show you how to set up your light sensor. So you'll want to go here to the motor and sensor setup. Now light sensor is an analog sensor, not digital. So make sure you click VEX 2.0 analog sensors. You can call it just about anything you want. I'm going to call mine light sensor. And then the sensor type is light sensor. Click OK, and now you can see it's right there for us. Okay, I just realized I misspelled my name right motor. Okay, next, the command that allows the robot to wait for the light sensor to be covered. You're going to find that here in natural language until. Yep, it was until. Sorry, I got confused. Until light is the command that you want to use to wait for the light sensor to be covered up. Now, I know that seems backwards to me. I would think if I was going to wait until the light sensor got covered up, I would want until dark. I have no idea why they are named this way, and it makes no sense to me in any way. I just remember in my head that when I use the light sensor, the commands are opposite of what I think they should be. So until light means that it's going to wait until the light sensor is covered. Until dark would mean that the light sensor starts covered and then it waits until the light sensor is not covered. Now for our assignment, we want to cover the light sensor to trigger the motor starting, so we want to use the until light command. Now we've got some information we're going to have to put in here, threshold and sensor port. Our sensor port is right up here, IN1. I don't know why analog is IN instead of AN, but that's the way Robot C does it. So IN1 is what we want for our sensor port. The threshold is a number that we have to calculate. So in order to calculate our threshold, we're going to have to download this program to the robot. Even though it's not going to do anything yet, we have to download this program to the robot so that we can see what our light sensor is doing. So I'm going to download the program. Oh, it's not going to let me do it because I don't have the threshold in there, the number. So I'm just going to delete that because I don't even need it right now. And I'm going to download a completely blank program. Okay, once this comes up, your screen down here will probably be blank, or they may not even have a screen down here. So what you'll need to do is click Robot, and then Debugger window, and then you'll need to check sensors. I did this previously when I was working on something else, and that's why mine's already checked, but yours will probably not be checked. So you'll want to check that box. Then if the information still doesn't show up down here, you'll want to click Start, and then hopefully it shows up. If you're still not getting any number down here, then you may need to re-download the firmware right here, re-download the master CPU and the robot C firmware. Once you've done that, click download the program, click start again, and hopefully it shows up. If you still can't get it to show up after that, raise your hand, I'll come by and help you out. But that's the first thing I'll do is download the firmware because we need to get that communication link opened up. All right, so when you see a number down here, yours might be a little bit lower, might be a little bit higher than mine. Mine's about 3,000. I know when I was helping students with this before, sometimes they're closer to the 2,000 range. It really has to do with what part of the classroom you're in as to how much light your sensor is going to read. But you want a pretty high number. Something above 2,000 is what you'll want to see here. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to have to calculate the average of when the light sensor is covered and when the light sensor is uncovered. And then that number, the average of the two, is going to be the threshold number. So it's really easy to do if you just go to Google and find a calculator, or if you have a calculator on your phone or your MacBook you want to use, that's perfectly fine also. There we go. Took a little while, but we got it. All right, so when the light sensor is uncovered, we're getting this number. I'm going to round it off to 3,000. You know, use your thousands number, use your hundreds number. Really, you don't need to worry about the tens or the ones. You can see it's jumping around quite a bit. So I'm just going to round it off to the nearest hundred, which for me would be 3,000. So in here, I'm going to type in 3,000. Okay, then I'm going to go back here and I'm going to cover it up with my finger. I know you can't see it, but I just covered it up with my finger. And you can see I'm getting a much, much lower number. So I'm going to round this off to 1,300. So go back here to my calculator. To find the mean of two numbers, I'm going to simply put in 1,300. Now to calculate the mean of two numbers, I would add those together and then divide that answer by 2. I don't want to put that answer on the screen because I think students aren't going to do this calculation. They're just going to copy off whatever number I put on there. So I'm not going to tell you what that number ends up being. Okay, after you've got that average calculated, you're going to come back here to your robot C. And again, the command you'll want to use is under natural language until, and you'll want until light. So again, the sensor port here is IN1. The threshold is your number that you got here when you added your two numbers together and then divide that answer by 2. Whatever that answer is your threshold number that you want to put in here. So you'd take that out and you'd put in whatever number there. And then since our assignment was wait for the hand to cover the light sensor, start the right motor at 85 for 3 seconds and then stop. So we're going to use a start motor, make it the right motor, put the speed at 85, the wait time is 3, use a motor stop. Then step 3 is the same until light command. And then step 4, you should already know how to do that part as well. So when you get this all finished, you'll raise your hand and let me know that you need your assignment graded.